there, it's Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, Women on TV.tv, Worldwide TV Network, iTube 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee, and iHeartRadio and all the platforms around the world. Let's talk about this young man because this is going to be a special show. And the reason why, it's all about art. It's all about what makes people beautiful, the images. You know what? I'm not even going to talk. Diego, who are you and where are you coming from?
Well, my name is Diego Marcial Rios. I am not a young man. I'm actually a senior citizen, though I exercise, I hit the gym every day and boom, boom. People don't ever guess that I'm as old as I am. I am a political artist. I have been exhibiting and showing and publishing since age 11, believe it or not. I have artwork in museum collections in the United States, Mexico.
I think I lost you for a minute there. My connection might be bad.
And political issues which affect everybody, in particular, people of color. Sorry, guys. Individuals or minorities. Unfortunately, we take the brunt of society's problems a lot of the times, and that's a sad state of affairs in the United States. I certainly address that in my artwork. I'm also a political activist. I work in social services. I have worked in social services for a long time. I work with homeless individuals, people coming out of the criminal justice system and that sort of stuff. I'm the guy that they come to my office. I'm the guy who helps get them jobs, training, housing, that sort of stuff. I've done also that for many years. I also want to thank this very fine gentleman for having me on his show today. I do appreciate your time, sir.
Hey, I appreciate you always reaching out because people that understand, just like yourself, you do a lot of things, not only as you being that activist, but helping the people. This is all about helping people. We have to give voice to the voiceless, don't we? And you do that in your art, and you do that with what you do. Talk about why that is important.
Well, it's extremely important. Somebody has to do it. First of all, somebody has to do it. I'm of the moral mind, and I was brought up, and I literally grew up in the believe it or not, in the political protest system. Both my parents were political activists during the 60s. So I literally grew up on the picket lines. I grew up knowing in order to find justice, you have to fight for it. You have to speak out for it. If you don't fight and speak out for it, you'll never get it. I also know my heritage. I'm of Mexican-American descent. Our people, in our history, we've always resisted oppression, either political or cultural oppression at all times. And yeah, sometimes you have to fight, you have to stand up for what's right, and you have to fight and stand up for culture, arts, also yourself, your own station in society, your own station in the socioeconomics of society. So it's very important that someone, including myself, stand up and point out problems in society and also work towards positive change.
Talk about you going to the gym. Gym is very, very important, not only for your mind, but again, it keeps you younger. Talk about why that's important for you also.
Why it's important for me? Hey, it keeps me going. I've been doing the same sort of stuff my entire life. It's certainly very intellectually stimulating because you meet incredibly smart people, incredibly active people. And I've been very happy to work with these people towards positive change. And you will find that in social services, and you certainly will find that in the arts. Certainly will find that in the arts. Actually, I brought some art examples that I produced. How you doing there?
Ooh, how cool is that? Talk about how that came about.
Well, I teach mask making in the Mexican tradition, and I also teach Mexican sugar skulls in the Mexican tradition as well. That's sort of my method of keeping my culture alive in the United States and keeping the younger generations informed of their culture of the past and maintaining it. It's very important. And in a population that certainly knows their culture and history is very difficult to oppress. Very difficult to oppress.
Do you know Manuel? He's a fashion designer. He's in Franklin, Tennessee now, but he used to be in Hollywood. So he used to do stuff for Desi Arnaz, everybody like that. I think it was John Wayne. He created a lot of his fashion icons. He dressed Johnny Cash in black, all of that.
Wow.
I first saw Mexican art on his ranch at a party, and I'm like, this is beautiful. This is gorgeous. Why am I not seeing more of this? And then I saw yours. I'm like, wow, there is a huge heritage there that a lot of people aren't aware of. Talk about why that's important for people to notice these artists.
Well, it's important for any culture to respect any other culture, just in terms of respect of another culture. anything you know and learn of another culture, which is new and interesting and important, I think it's important to grasp because you learn a little bit more about the individuals you're working with, even on a business sense, even if you're just not very interested in socializing in that sort of sense, even if you're just doing business with another ethnic minority, it's important that you know something a little bit about their culture and a little bit about their arts culture. And that can be dance, it can be muralism, it can be a lot of different things. It's important that you know something about them.
What turned you on to art as a little kid? Before you started painting, before you started drawing, what was that? What did you see that said, I want to do this?
This is a crazy story. And it's a wild story. And I've repeated it to every reporter I've talked to, from the Los Angeles Times to the New York Times to I don't know how many documentaries have been done. I mean, it's absolutely true. When I was 3 years old, 3 years old, I was a little guy. My father brought me to see the murals of Jose Clemente Orozco, a famous Mexican muralist in Guadalajara. He lifted me up to see this one mural called El Hombre de Fuego. And at age 3, I looked up at that mural. I knew what I wanted to do. Isn't that crazy? I was 3 years old. It's the absolute truth. I've always repeated it as a truth. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, I'm sure things like that happen to other people. I looked up at that mural as a 3-year-old. My father lifted me up. I knew what I wanted to do. Crazy enough, but it's absolutely true.
Where do you think we are in the world of art? You know, did we ever see the Met being closed last year? Just think about that. I can't wait to see a documentary of that being closed down, what it was like protecting art. What is it like when people are the people are going and collecting art, but also those artists with their work? Why is that so important for people to be inspired? I'm sure there's a lot
You're gonna have to repeat your question.
what you're
just
doing.
Froze. Just froze.
Oh, I said, why is that important for people to know what your work is like?
Yeah, you just
Why is that important for people to know what your work is like, Diego?
froze. So you have to repeat the question. You just froze.
Okay. Why is it important to know, for people to know what your artwork is like and to get it out there more for all those people who may not have seen it, who may not know who you are? Why is that?
Well, my artwork addresses political issues which are very important to everybody. My artwork addresses racism, fascism, cultural oppression, periodically some other issues, the environment and some other stuff. These are issues which are of major concern to minorities and lots of other people during our time right now. And you can't act on these things, these problems, without identifying them first. And that's what my artwork does. It identifies it. And it also speaks out for individuals who don't have the ability to speak out. Like I see it all the time. My work will be reproduced in a magazine or a newspaper, and someone will look at that image and they'll go, you know what? I've been wanting to say that. I've been wanting to express that for a long time, but there it is expressed. And that's for some. It's very important for visual artists to express their point of views, because a lot of times many other people have the exact sort of view, and it's important that they get expressed. It is important, again, for identification reasons. So you identify problems and work to solve them. But it's important that initially that you identify the problem through art. That's one method.
When you're giving advice to people who kids that may have been troubled, or even adults that may have had trouble past, what's one of the first things that you say to inspire them to go out to do something for not only their heritage, but their communities? What would you say? What do you say?
First of all, this United States is a wonderful place. There's always another opportunity, always a chance to rebuild and start again. Always a chance. So no matter how bad you messed up, and believe me, I work with a population base every single day that they've had their issues. Some of them have come out of San Quentin, some of them have come out of Pelican Bay after done 20 years. It's a long time. But regardless of any and all that, there's always the opportunity in this country to start again and to work towards positive change. As long as you are willing to put in the work and make the change happen. Now, if you're not willing to put in the work and make the change happen, nothing's going to happen. People aren't going to do it for you. So that's primarily one of the most important things I tell individuals who've had trouble past that sort of stuff, is that, you know what, you can always start again. There's always room to start up again. Always.
That's one of the good things about the United States. We love the underdog, and we love giving second chances and even third.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm watching the Muhammad Ali documentary through Ken Burns on PBS, a 4-part series, and I'm on part 4 now. You remind me of what Ali was going through, what he was doing as I'm listening to you speak. I see elements of that of him in you. That blows.
Well, I listened to Ali speak when I was a boy in the 60s, and I liked it. You know, he wasn't going to put up with any bullshit oppression and join the army and fight people he didn't know. He wasn't going to put up with that. No, he saw it for what it was. It was imperialism. That's what it was. It was imperialism for what? For raw materials. It wasn't about fighting for the rights of the North or South Vietnamese. No, you know what it really was about? It was about aluminum, is what it was about. It was about material goods and making people rich and making the prison industrial complex rich with money and that sort of stuff. Ali was smart. I mean, not only was when he was incredibly powerful as a person, he was quite bright. He knew if he was being used and when. He knew that African Americans were being used and brutally at the time, and he wasn't going to have any part of it. And this is the part that's most sad of all. During the Vietnam War, interestingly enough, I'm sure the powers that be gauged it for the draft system to take in more African Americans and Latinos than everybody else. So, of course, we're the people that are going to bleed for their profit. And Ali saw that right off the top and wasn't willing to participate no matter what. Good for him.
What do you want people to know about you that they may not know about you?
I'm funny. Take up my art classes. People often, they'll read about me and they'll read very serious articles about me in very scholarly journals, or they see documentaries about me. And then they take up art classes with me, or they pay to see me in a speaking engagement, and they realize I'm a funny guy. I am a very humorous fellow. I come off very much as a happy-go-lucky sort of a guy. And that does not come through in the media at all. No, what you get if you read news articles, you read, you know, magazine articles, you see me in documentaries, you see this very serious guy, me, talking about very serious issues, and it's as if that's all that I am. But in reality, if you meet me, I'm sort of a happy-go-lucky guy, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Name 3 pieces of your work that you want people to remember you by, and why is that important?
Nah, I don't have any. To be honest with you, I really don't have any. It's just I mean, some of the work, which is I can't name any of the works, and be honest with you, hopefully it'll be remembered in 10 and 20 years if the planet's in a condition enough that people have museums. I'm not too worried about that sort of stuff. I mean, I can't answer that question, is what I'm trying to say. I can't answer that question.
Well, we will have a place to hold the art on the Dream River Artist Ranch for one, and your art's going to be one way or another, and it's going to be protected.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's going to be protected in the right place and with a lot of security, because no matter what's going on outside the 4 walls, being environmentally friendly, sustainable, and net zero, the artwork is very, very important. We want people to come from around the world to see these arts that they may not be able to go to the Met. They may not be able to go to, to Paris or to the Louvre. That's why it's important.
Yeah, well, it's very important because a lot of my artwork is in these big museums. And to be honest with you, Chicanos and African Americans don't go to these places. They don't go to them. Yeah. Yet it's sitting in these museums forever. Oh, they're under guard and key and everything like that. They'll be forever. So guess who's looking at it? Mm-hmm. Are Chicanos and Blacks looking at it? No. Sure. If you got another venue for it, I'll be more than happy to participate or give artwork for it. Absolutely.
When you got your first piece into a museum, what was your thought? What was going in your mind?
I had absolutely no concern other than I had to make some money to pay the rent. I was a 21-year-old guy, and I was paying my rent. I was living in Madison, Wisconsin at the time, doing graduate studies, and I could care less who was purchasing the work. I had to pay my rent, and I had to buy food. So this museum guy wants to buy some artwork. Hey man, no more for it. I sold one painting, paid the rent for a month. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that.
What's interesting about that is I love Madison, Wisconsin. That's one of the most fun places to live. I almost lived there, but I didn't want to go to the winters.
No, 40 below zero for a month. No, the people are actually very nice, but the weather 40 below zero for a month. Ooh, hurtful. You don't want to do that.
Main reason why I didn't move there, but I love going in the summers.
Oh, it's a little humid. The people from that area are very, very nice. They're all from these little tiny farms. They're very nice people.
And you're right. A lot of artists, there was all about, hey, I got to pay my rent. I'm going to paint this, and whoever buys it, buys it. That was true. The good thing about yours is now it's staying for prosperity. So there's a lot more people that we want to expose your art to, and that's especially people of color. That is extremely important now.
Yeah, I think so. Yes. I think our minds are in the same place, my friend.
Give you social media links for people that can reach out to you on your website.
Well, one of the easiest ones, just get through me through my website, diegomarcialrios.com. That's the easiest way. Also, you can look me up on Facebook, Diego Marcial Rios Art and Design Works, and I'll come up on Facebook. I have like 50,000 or 60,000 followers on Facebook, and I don't know how many people visit the website. That's namely how people get through to me, or if they want to communicate with me. Also, if you just want to Gmail me, Diego Marcial Rios at gmail.com. I mean, I answer most of the Gmails I get and that sort of stuff. It's very easy to get a hold of me, or just Google my name and you'll get some source to get to me. It's very easy to get a hold of me.
What kind of music do you like? And then do you listen to music when you're painting, or you just quiet, you're in your zone? How does that work for you?
Oh, I listen to music. I certainly do. I listen to the oldies. I listen to Johnny Cash. I listen to some Rolling Stones, a lot of rhythm and blues, a lot of bands you're not going to know because I think you're too young. The Marvelettes, I don't think you know who they are.
I remember the Marvelettes.
Well, guess what? I'm a major fan. I listen to all their stuff. Bands like that, bands from the 60s and that sort of stuff I listen to. I certainly do listen to music. Generally, a lot of rock and roll and that sort of stuff when I'm working. Like I said, I don't like a lot of the heavy metal bands very much. But namely, just that, sort of country, western sort of stuff, and some rock and roll here and there. Some Beatles, and a lot of 60s rhythm and blues from Detroit in that area, that period of time, that sort of stuff.
The first song I listen to every day is Stevie Wonder, I Was Made to Love Her. I heard it on the radio one time, and I'm like, wow, these lyrics why didn't I know this? And I just remember the harmonica every day, Diego. I listen to that song to start my day off. How trippy is that?
Hey, everyone's got their ways of getting through life, whatever works for you. It sounds as good as any to me. Sounds cool.
Movies. What kind of movies do you like? This is Movie Reviews and More. I'm always fascinated
I love action movies. Action movies, I just love them for some reason. I mean, 007 movies with Mr. 007 going
James,
on, and
yep.
I love all that stuff. I love really dumb action movies. I hate to say it with Schwarzenegger. I don't know about his politics. Some of his politics are pretty cool. Actually, he's right. But I like his movies. I mean, he doesn't do too much other than "I'll see you later." Boom, 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 boom. But it's action and it's fun and it's fake. I mean, so I like Schwarzenegger films. I like some.
Oh, I think we lost you in the sound a little bit. I think we lost your sound. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Oh, there you are. Okay. We lost your sound for a minute. You were on Stallone.
Oh, awesome. I just mentioned that I like action films. I just watched a really good film with Clint Eastwood. It's called Cry Macho.
Yep.
It's a quiet little movie. That's all that it is. It's a quiet little movie, but it's a good little movie, and I like the ending. If you know Mr. Clint Eastwood, tell him I really like the movie.
All right, so here's a test for you. Stallone or Schwarzenegger? Which one would you choose and why?
They're both ugly. None of them.
That's fun.
Which is more ugly? Which is more ugly to me? Well, they're both a couple ugly guys. I mean, I don't like any of them. I mean, I guess they play the same part over and over again. I mean, but the range of Stallone's about this far. The range of Schwarzenegger is about this far. I mean, they're just big ugly guys that make action movies. I don't like any of them really particular, but they make good action movies. Again, all you have to do is, "I'll be back, baby." Boom, boom, boom. That's all that they do.
Last question. Talk about your fitness. What do you do when you go to the gym? Why is that important for you mentally?
It's extremely important for me, especially at my age, to maintain physical fitness in order to fight all the terrible things that happen to old people, including arthritis. First thing I do is I do about 3 or 4 miles on the exercise bike. Those are my legs. And then I do light weights for the rest of the top of my body and that sort of stuff. And that's I'm just fighting arthritis, to be honest with you. But as a result of that, I'm physically quite strong. I'm not as strong as I was about a year ago. I could bench press 300 pounds about maybe 2 years ago. But granted, I'm getting older. I can't quite do that anymore. But physical fitness is good. I think it's important that you've been given your body. It's important that you maintain and keep it healthy at all times. I think and it's also biblical as well. There's a biblical passage that says maintain your body and maintain your mind as well. And it's important that you maintain your fitness for a lot of reasons, for medical reasons and also for your own sanity. It's very important.
And this is where Schwarzenegger comes back in, because people forget, yes, he makes action movies, but he's an entrepreneur, he's an environmentalist. And when it comes
he's smart. No,
Pumping Iron was that film
Yeah.
put him on the map. And what do people like to go to? The gym. He's all about fitness still, even at his age of 73,
Well, I don't. Schwarzenegger's an interesting guy. He was a moderate Republican politically. He wasn't a bad governor. I mean, when
No.
Trump called him a lousy governor, that wasn't true. I mean, he kept things running. I mean, but he was just a moderate. It's all that Schwarzenegger ever was a moderate Republican. He didn't bust up anything.
No.
He did some good stuff. He did some good stuff concerning the environment, and he was really good concerning disasters and that sort of stuff. So there's some good stuff he did that I could see. I didn't agree with all his politics, but he wasn't a bad politician at all. I don't think a lot of people, I'm even a Democrat. I never disliked him.
Yeah, he's all about the environment right now. Most important. So for this last question, to inspire people, what do you say to inspire other people, the young people coming up who may not know which way to go? What would you say?
Go to school. Keep education as your a priori, or a priori means your number one thing is stay in school, and stay in school. How about that? Don't let anything stop you from getting more education. Don't let anything stop you from getting a college education or a master's degree or everything else. Your education is very important. In fact, it's more important than almost anything else. It affects your job, employment. It affects your social status. It affects a lot of different things. So namely, first and foremost, get educated and stay in school.
And with that, I say this. If you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours, because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian with Diego. Thank you so much, because people need to know all about you, your politics, your activism, and your art. And that's most important.
Thank you very much. You've been a gentleman and a scholar, and I deeply appreciated the time that you've taken to talk to me. And you're certainly fun to talk to. Certainly fun to talk to.
Hey, I can't wait till the other guy. I had one of the girls coming on today. And then she goes, "Oh, I got to catch him on the live show," because they had to rush her to work.
Oh, well, life gets in the way sometimes. Okay, I'll be
Hey,
more than happy.
You're going to meet the other three on our live show.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to do live shows or anything you want. I'll be more than happy to do that because I like you.